Hello, it is I, Mrs. Mead. It's not even Friday. It's the first one of 2026 though, isn't it? I wouldn't push me to work. Okay, so quick break in bottling while we wash some more bottles. So I thought I would pick up on what the Meadmeister mentioned yesterday, which is our new bottles. Now, we did get these in before Christmas and we did start using them, and some of you have received them, but no one seems to have noticed. There isn't much of a difference, to be honest. So I have Lancashire Forest. So we had 2 or 3 bottles left before we did the bottling at the beginning of this week. So this is one of the couple that we had left. So this is the bottle you know and love. It is a wonderful square bottle because real mead is square. And yeah, it was all fine and dandy. It was lovely, looked wonderful. There were some issues with it. So we've shown you and talked about in the past the slivers that come off at our end before they get to you, hopefully, fingers crossed. So like the corners coming off, and they're very, very sharp. They're sharper than like surgical instruments. So these corners were always the weak points. And then at the beginning of the year, beginning of December it was, the Meadmeister was pushing a cork in, and another weak area on these is the neck. The way it kind of has a much more straight down attachment, if that makes sense, design. It pushed the cork in, that cracked and went in, and that's when he did his finger, and it went really deep and everything. We had the thingy stitches on, butterfly stitches on and what have you. So that's all behind the scenes of, some of the issues we were having. A couple of people did get them in the post where the bottom corners have then sort of been damaged in the transit, which when you've seen our packaging how it's done, but again it's another weak area because it's a corner. And we were starting to get issues with the corks because this batch of corks was slightly narrower than the previous ones. It was done without our knowledge. It didn't completely work because we have to factor in the tolerances. There's a manufacturing tolerance in the neck and in the cork. So that was part of the issue. So there was, as wonderful as these were, there was lots of issues going on in the background. The cork issues were starting to filter through to yourselves. As much as we would swap corks and stuff and make sure they were tight, some people did get cork issues. Then we also had the issue where the cork's gone in, but then there's been an issue with the top. So it's just been lots of little bitty issues, and as time's gone on, they got slightly more, they happened more, a little bit more, where there was no way we were ever going to catch this kind of thing, because it's like the top of the one. We checked them. We checked the tops and everything. If the cork doesn't fit, we swap them out. But we're not going to catch a lot of these issues because we were also having issues with them not sealing properly, which is why we'd swap the corks out. So we were working in the background, obviously, and we were really working on the corks, talking to people, getting specs, getting samples sent up. Or you can have this, but it doesn't come like that, or you can't do this to the top, or that doesn't fit completely, or you've got to have a 6 squillion minimum order quantity, at 6 squillion pounds. And, there was lots of discussions and everything going on in the background. I was tearing my hair out. And we randomly got an email which we get a lot, please buy our bottles, please buy our corks, please buy our filters, as well as random farm machinery and stuff that just doesn't apply, but hey. We got a random email from another bottle company, and they have this. It's our bottle, isn't it? Completely our bottle. Yep. Doesn't look any different, does it? The corners are rounded. We were like, oh. So we had the conversations with them, and we got some samples sent up and everything. And we were concerned about, obviously, it's eliminated those weak points, because what they've done is they've just rounded them off slightly. So if you can see, and then the bottoms, it's back to the concave bottom, so which is a nightmare to put the batch labels on. Don't get me wrong, the air can be blue sometimes when I'm trying to put the batch label on, but it gives it a sturdiness and a heaviness and everything that it's just completely eliminated most of the issues we were having. They arrive, they're not damaged, we're doing our bit, they're not damaged, we're not getting damaged, or we haven't done yet. So the way the neck joins, it's slightly more angled, it's not so straight, so hopefully that won't be an issue. We've not had to, we're on our third pallet, I think. I can't remember, but and we've not had any we've had to throw away before we've even put them through the bottle washer or anything like that. We've not had any that have cracked, because we've shown you before on the old ones, they would crack across the bottom and stuff. That's not happening in the bottle wash. So it's really quite, and side by side, you really don't notice the difference. So they are slightly shorter, and even though when you look at them like that, it doesn't look like it, this is marginally, and I say marginally, it's like 1 millimeter all the way around, slightly wider. And I was worried because as you know, I've had carpal tunnel surgery, so my grip and everything can be a bit dodgy sometimes. So we use me as probably most people will be able to, if I can, kind of benchmark. So I was worried with it being a bit wider, because if you notice the bottling videos now, the Meadmeister's doing the actual bottling side of it, because I was beginning to, once I've got so far in to actually bottling, picking these old ones up, because they're upside down like that, you've got to pick them up like that. I was starting to struggle once I'd done so many to actually get them out and put them on the bottling machine, because my hands were just like, I can't cope with it anymore. These are actually easier for me to handle, easier for me to hold. There's a slight difference in the neck, so the corks fit, and they fit properly, eliminating the issues we've been having with the corks. So it just goes to show how if you look at something a bit differently, then you get a different answer. So it fits our packaging and everything. That was the major concern we had when we got the samples. And they are nice and sturdy, and they just look amazing. They look just slightly more polished, like they've actually finished it off, kind of thing. We were talking, because where we used to live, the flat we left a few years ago was council, and we were like, that's like where the council have done a job but not quite finished it off properly, but that's like where a proper tradesperson, a proper skilled person has done the job properly. They've just finished off that really nice. So we still have some product in the old bottles, obviously, but you will now start seeing these come out, and hopefully you guys will be able to get the tops out better. You won't get any damages arriving with yourselves that we can't eliminate easily, and fingers crossed says. Wood. You'll be happier. Obviously, we'll be happier going forward. So we will see how it goes, and we'd love to know your feedback. And now you've got to go and have a look to see if you've got one of the old bottles or one of the new ones. Take care. Bye.